Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's your host, Arlette, and I'm here with the very popular Dr. Elom. Welcome, Dr. Elom.
The rumors are true.
Oh, uh-oh. Wow.
I'm here. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. You know, we had to dig deep and, get to know you a little bit better because as we saw, the people love you.
Yeah.
And
well, it's not been all love.
Yeah. We gonna get into that. Don't you worry. So, as we saw on the show, we got to know you a little bit.
Sure.
But if you want to just start it off by letting us know, tell us a little bit about yourself. Whatever it is you want the people to know more about you.
All right. Well, I'm a traveling dentist. I privately contract with different practices going in and doing dental implants and wisdom teeth extractions.
Okay.
I do that in Arizona and California. Been doing that for the past 6-7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do I want the people to know? I don't know.
Yeah. What do you do for fun?
Sure. I love yoga. I meditate. I spend a lot of time on the beach.
Yeah, LA.
I love to cook.
Uh-huh.
I write music.
Nice.
What else do I do? Like talking to my friends on the phone.
All right.
Doing rat shit with my friends.
Okay. And so just to clarify, right? The people are like, what kind of doctor is this man? He's out here offering therapy sessions. He's out here,
Let me set the record straight. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I did get my bachelor's in psychology from Morehouse.
Oh.
So that, I do know what I'm talking about a little bit.
Okay.
I just decided to get my doctorate in dentistry.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of psychology when it comes to being a dentist. Any good dentist will tell you that the dentistry is actually the easy part. It's the business aspect and working with your patients, chairside manner, working with the emotions, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, all of that is very challenging for most dentists to work with. So having a psychology background, felt like I had a leg up with the human behavior aspect of dealing with scared, ignorant patients. But we do a great job. We do a great job.
Okay. So now it's making a little bit more sense now to the people because they were like, "Where is this guy?
Right? What is this guy talking about? What credibility does he have?" Now, I will say, I do have a bachelor's in psychology, which does help. But I've spent years in therapy. I've done a myriad of modalities: EMDR, tap therapy, life coaching. I have a coach now who I see less periodically than when I used to when I started. I was seeing a therapist 3 times a week. We were doing all these different things, and then I would take the days off that I had to see my therapist, process the therapy, heal my wounds, have the tough conversations, and do the things that are necessary in order to regulate my emotions and have a pleasant and peaceful life experience, because that's what we're all really looking for.
Okay. So are you using some of like the things that you've heard your therapist say to you and things that you've learned?
Definitely. There are things that I learned in therapy that they're just general truths. Yeah. Right. And tools that I've learned that are useful in all kinds of experiences, including your show. So I had to dig deep in my bag of tools to make sure I could handle myself properly. Right. I want to be authentic. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what people love is that, you were saying some kind of out of pocket things, but we can tell you were being yourself.
Sure. My life is out of pocket, apparently. That's how I live my life. But really what it was is just an opportunity to infuse wellness into initial meetings, right? I think a lot of what we experience, especially on a show like that, where you're being judged, you're being put on display, you're being criticized in a lot of ways. How can you still show up authentic even though you are being judged? How can you still show up gracefully even though you may not be someone's first choice or something like that? So it was important for me to be able to understand that going into it and have a clear understanding of what's happening. That way I can show up as authentically as possible.
Right. Yeah. And we saw that come through. Definitely.
So out of pocket, yes, but
it's
here
your
we
truth.
are. Here we are. I went viral for being myself.
Exactly.
And I'm not backing down now. So here we go. What's up?
So yeah, speaking of the show, as we have seen, it's been everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. People are cutting it up, snipping it up, putting it all over YouTube, all this stuff. How has it been for you with all this social media attention I'm pretty sure you're getting?
Slide in my DMs.
Oh my goodness.
It's been great.
Yeah.
And I continue to say I do a lot of different things. Like I do the dentistry, I write the music, I play basketball, I, do yoga, meditation, all these things I feel like I could have gone viral for, but I'm so glad I didn't because now I don't have to maintain a certain persona. Right. I literally just get to walk into look at me. Look like I'm literally wearing my shirt and some pants that I had on earlier, and I just get to show up and be myself. Right. I get to show up and speak my truth, share my story, share my experience, share what has helped me get to this place of peace and relaxation in life, and it's awesome. So let's go.
And people in the comments are like, "Oh man, like." How does this guy, where does he come from being able to call someone a liability? Where did that come from and what made you want to say that to
her? I used to be a liability, right? I would enter relationships looking for something, looking to fill a void, looking to try and buoy myself up with people around me or experiences around me. It wasn't until I spent that time by myself. Right. I think I tell people I spent like 8 months where I wasn't dating, no sex, no nothing. And it was intense, but it was important for me to get to a place where the validation and the criticism are both equally matched in the way where I love the validation, but I don't need it. I accept the criticism, but I don't absorb it and I don't identify with it. So being able to spend time by myself, heal my wounds, understand myself, figure out what tools I need for self-love has allowed me to, be where I'm at right now. So
yeah. And kind of going back to liability, was there anything in particular that stood out from what she had said that made you say that?
Sure. Well, for me, it wasn't necessarily what she did, what she looked like, but how she interacted. And the thing that got me kind of on the defense was her inability to listen. And so when you aren't opening and accepting to what you're being told and you may be getting a little bit defensive, then it becomes it's understandable that you're not going to be able to work through more challenging conversations. If this is the first time we're meeting and we're already having uncomfortable discourse, I'm finding it challenging to get through to you. I'm finding it challenging to maintain a consistent dialogue with you, then it'll be even more challenging when, things hit the fan or, I need somebody who can be in my foxhole, who I can communicate with, who I know will accept me, even if I'm not all the way, communicating properly. We can at least have an understanding like, okay, this is where we need to go. Right.
And now you said that you used to be a liability. Sure. Now, did someone call you that? And that's where that came to you? Or like from experiences and growing up and seeing yourself like, oh man, that was me.
Right. I was a young man once, right? Struggling, didn't really have as much direction, trying to get into dental school, trying to make things work for myself, trying to figure out how I was going to get to a place of stability. Yeah. And in that I needed help. Right. And so there were people around me, whether it been family, whether it been good friends, that helped me get to a place where I was able to get through school, was able to get through the hard times. But it was in my romantic relationships where I felt like I was also trying to pull. And when you're in that type of environment, it's challenging to grow and cultivate together when you're both struggling and you're both trying to get to a place. So she was just in a place in her life where bringing her into my world right now would force me to have to lift her up as opposed to us being able to buoy each other up simultaneously. And I got that through our conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that. So we did see you ended up matching on the show.
Sure.
And,
yes.
you know, you were talking about you were going to fly her out, all this stuff. Like, you know, we want to know.
I was ready.
Did sis get flued out?
I was ready. She didn't need to get flued out because we were still here.
Oh, bye, bye. No.
We were still in the same city. You know, no need to just take random flights. I don't even know you yet, girl, right?
But, you know, since the show, you telling me you haven't been back to LA?
I haven't been back to LA, but it wasn't before we did go on a date together.
Okay, so you guys did date.
We did go on a date together.
Okay.
It was quite platonic. It was rated G. The conversation wasn't rated G, but the time together was beautiful because we were able to come to a place where we were comfortable with having a friendship.
Okay.
She shared with me her desires, her dreams, her goals of what she wanted her life to look like. I shared with her where I am in my life right now. And just logistically, it just didn't match up. So we're just in different places in our lives.
I see.
But the beautiful thing about our experience together is that we were able to have an adult conversation. We were able to share ideas. We were able to share our history and our past together without judgment. And that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But because we weren't in a place logistically to be together, we decided to be friends.
I love that.
So if she ever needs anything, if she ever needs advice, if she, you know, she always has a friend to help me to hit up. You know, if I can't help you out, then I know somebody who can. So that's the type of interaction that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And when I talk about being a liability, you know, that conversation wasn't draining. One thing I like to do after every interaction, I'll do the same when I leave here, is take stock of how my body's feeling.
Yeah.
How am I feeling after that interaction? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling hype? Am I feeling drained? Am I feeling heavy?
Okay.
And after the conversation I had with old girl who I didn't pick, I was feeling drained. I was feeling exhausted. After having a conversation with the girl I did pick, I felt alive.
Yeah.
I felt grateful. And so that's how you know if it's worth it or not, if you're a liability or not.
Right. Okay. And yeah, because I did see a lot of people also saying like, he said the 22-year-old is a liability, then ended up with a 20 or 21-year-old. Like,
so it goes to show that age does matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it's not as big a factor as being able to relate human to human.
I see. Okay. So it wasn't even just the age. It was more so them themselves as a person.
The initial interaction. Okay. And that's why I'm so gung-ho on working to infuse a wellness and authenticity amongst initial interactions because, you know, first impressions are everything. And a lot of times we want to show up in a way where we hope that this person likes me or we want to show up our best self. Why don't you just show up how you are, as you are in this now? And if you are able to attract people who can accept you in that now, then you don't ever have to be fake. Exactly. If you show up fake initially, then you're going to have to maintain that facade for that person. How many times in marriage have they said, this isn't the person I married? Who is this person? Well, this is the actual person you married because that person who was trying to, you know, get the ring or get whatever was being someone else. So how authentic can you be when you show up initially? Right. And I've gotten very good at being able to read that.
Okay,
so come with it. Bring your best shot.
Also, people were like, why is this guy referring to himself as Dr. Elom when it's not a professional setting? When you meet people, do you always say Dr. Elom or is it ever just, hey, I'm Elom?
No, well, usually I don't say Dr. Elom, but I wanted everyone to know what time it was when it came to what this was about to be, right?
Right.
And I think it's important for people to know, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
I spent years
because we saw
working, right?
That changed someone's mind. She was ready to pop, and then she said, hold on.
And guess what? Yeah. Now you get to see someone's authenticity because now I get to see how you react to me being a doctor. What does that mean to you? And so are you going to be authentic? You know, as soon as you show me your true colors, I'll believe you the first time. Okay. And so I'm going to be as authentic as possible. Okay. So if you can meet me there, then we can at least have a conversation. If you can't, well, then you might be a liability.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, what are some of your upcoming projects and things that we should be looking out for from you?
I actually can't legally say.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I do have some projects coming out.
Okay.
Slide in my DMs.
I'm pretty sure you're getting a lot of that, aren't you?
No, if you slide in my DMs, I promise I will get to you.
Uh-huh.
But if you really want me to read them, you might have to hit 2 or 3 times so you stay at the top because it gets. But anyway, I have some things coming up.
Okay.
I go live. I'm trying to go live as much as possible on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
So if you want to have a conversation with me, but sometimes people be afraid to be vulnerable in the live, and I get it.
There's a lot of people watching.
I get it. There's a lot of people watching.
Yeah.
I get it. But slide in my DMs and we can work something out.
All right. And any final words you want to say to the people? Anything you want to let them know?
Just thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform. I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And I think if you guys continue, sky's the limit.
Thank you so much. We loved having you on. The people love you. Yeah. Even though there's some negative comments out there, I feel like
the haters. Actually, can you guys slide in my DMs first so we can have an adult conversation? And if you're going to be in my comments talking shit, at least allow me to reply. Sometimes I'll reply.
Oh, you're
replying. And then the handle will say, this handle doesn't allow any responses. If you're going to be bold enough to put a comment down, be open enough to get a real response because I will respond. We'll see.
Y'all be careful. He's coming for y'all right back. Well, Dr. Elom, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.